Hey, good morning. Welcome. Only 26 minutes late. It's not that I didn't try. Frickin' YouTube, probably my computer. I did do some more shopping for a computer last night. Took me Joe Caprino's here, fourth time's a charm, fourth time and second cup of coffee. So I hope this isn't I hope this isn't setting up how my day is gonna go because I woke up. You ever wake up like in the middle of you think it's like 5 a.m. and it's really like 11 p.m. You've been sleeping for an hour or 30 minutes. You feel like you've been sleeping all night. Sometimes that's great because you wake up and it's like, oh man, I have to get up. And then you look at the clock and it's like, oh, it's midnight. I still have 5 hours of sleep. But I didn't have that feeling last night. It was like, why am I waking up? Like I never wake up. And I think I know why. I got into the Halloween candy last night. I forgot I had Halloween candy because I was getting into it. My wife opened it up when we bought it 2 weeks ago or whenever. And then I started rating the Halloween candy. And then I was gone for a couple days at the Midwest premiere this past weekend, which we'll get into my $1,000 bulk buy because I haven't really detailed how I went about this. So I've talked about it a little bit here and there, but I want to go further in depth with it. So I forgot we had a Halloween candy. I had a sweet tooth yesterday afternoon. Usually it's that 3 o'clock, that wall, that 2, 3 o'clock, and I want some sugar. And I ended up having popcorn and some Diet Coke. And then I had to refill the paper towel thing. And I'm like, where in the hell are the paper towels? I've lived in this house for 6 years and I still don't know where things are kept. And I'm looking around, and I'm in the pantry and looking. Oh, Halloween candy. So I had a few pieces of Halloween candy. I had a Snickers. These are fun size bars. Snickers, 100 grand, which is my favorite out of the Costco big monster bags, and I think a Milky Way. So those were the three I had. Sugar, like caffeine doesn't do anything, but it's the sugar that makes my sleep. I've learned this here over the last, as I've like kept a closer eye on what I eat. Not that I'm eating any better. I just now know I pay attention when I eat a Casey's taco pizza. How does that make me feel, and how do I sleep? And I've learned which frozen pizzas make me feel worse the next day, and which ones I can get away with. And I've noticed sugar. If I have sugar like after 6 p.m., it's like gremlins eating after midnight. If you give me sugar after 6 p.m., I turn into this zombie at night. So I didn't sleep well last night. I don't know why I talked about that. Oh, because my freaking YouTube problem. So yeah, so I woke up at like 11:30. Then I woke up again a few hours later, and it's like, geez Louise. And then my flipping YouTube, it wasn't picking up my camera or microphone, which 706 episodes in all of my computer issues. I don't think that's ever happened. Uh, Sometimes I'll get like little hiccups on the screen where I hit, ready to go live or whatever. And if I just refresh it, it usually like kind of snaps out of it. It wakes up, but it didn't do that. And I refreshed it a couple times. I played around with it, didn't work. And then I exited the window. I opened up YouTube in another window. That didn't work. So I closed out the entire browser, X'd out all the windows, boom, opened up Google Chrome again, go back, created a third time. Womp womp, still didn't work. So finally, and this is where my IT this is my IT knowledge. Just restart the computer. And usually that fixes the problem. And that fixed the problem this time. Fourth time's a charm. Did the old restart. And we got fired up only 26 minutes late this morning. Let's go into the chat. I think everybody's joined us. No tease on this one. This is the actual video. I took down the original tweet because I didn't want people going to a dead link. Terry, what's up? Good morning. Joe Caprino's with us. John, what is happening? That 70s card show's in the house. Terry, There you are. Finally, camera's working, audio's working. We are here. Jenny, better late than never. Absolutely. When we played in a trivia league, there was a team, and it's funny because it's kind of they should make a movie on the bar trivia circuit, because there's the same, like, there's the Keep the Fibs Out. That was our name, because like when we started it, most of the guys and girls that were on our team were either from Illinois or had lived there at some point. And fibs, when you're in Wisconsin, it's a derogatory term at Illinois people who come into Wisconsin, and Wisconsin is Illinois' playground. People from Illinois come into Wisconsin, steal Wisconsin's land, and all that. So Wisconsin people call Illinois people fibs, which is effing Illinois bastards, right? Is that what it stands for? Effing Illinois bastards. So I am a fib, but I've been in Wisconsin for 8 years now. So I think I'm both. Like by day I'm a cheesehead without being a Packer fan. By night I'm a fib. But Jenny says better late than never. So one of the team names in our bar trivia, they were better. What was it? Better late than pregnant was their trivia team name. There were some funny ones. I can't remember. I'm gonna have to text my teammates, my former teammates. We haven't played in such a long time. There was another one. It was like, John Wilkes Table. John Wilkes Table instead of John Wilkes Booth. That was a regular trivia participant in our bar league trivia at Tanner's Bar and Grill. John set the alarm for 4:30 a.m., popped up at 1 a.m., ready to go. There you go. Red Light 34, best show in the morning on YouTube. Thank you. Probably the only show in the morning on YouTube. Everybody else has real jobs, except for me. DR says, I'm dropping off a 10-card SGC submission greeting cards for my first time ever, including a 2000 Tom Brady Bowman rookie that I found in that collection. Awesome. In fact, I am subbing. So I've done a sub, my very first sub, and I did the video. You can check it out. My very first submission. I went through SGC, went through the bulk subber 5-star cards, did a 5-card sub. I'm going to do a 10-card sub this weekend. And so I went through a box. I was actually digging through a box back there, and some of my pre-war Cubs are in one of these boxes. So I'll show you the cards I'm subbing. And then next month I can do a video, or next year I can do a video. So this one I fear will not get slabbed because it's in really bad shape, but it's Grover Cleveland Alexander Chicago Cubs card. I'm not sure any pre-war experts. I can't remember. It's one of those strip cards, I believe. So Grover Cleveland Alexander Chicago. But again, it's in really rough shape. I'm not sure if it'll get slabbed. This is King Cole. And I don't know what this card is either. I'm going to have to research. It's got Recruit Little Cigars on the back. King Cole. Leonard was his real name. Leonard King Cole, not Nat. This one has a little, looks like somebody took a bite. It's got some paper missing on the back. T206 Piedmont back. Harry Steinfeld. So it's got that little corner chewed off, and it's got some paper loss on the back. So again, that one, I'm not sure. Based on my previous experience with SGC and what they slab, I'm a little nervous. This one is Harry McIntyre, T205 gold border, again with the paper loss on the back. I didn't realize many of these had so much paper loss. So I guess I am a little nervous on these 10 cards. This one, I know, I think I bought this from Kit Young at the National a few years ago. Frank Damari. This is a Gaudy heads up. I got from Kit Young Cards back in, I think, 2019. Here is Batter Up, Billy Herman. I bought this from Tony Gordon, who runs the Oak Creek Card Show. Picked that up from him. Batter Up, Billy Herman. T206, Moran. I was thinking Colin Moran, but I think he plays right now. Moran for the Cubs. I can't think of his first name. It's got a nice clean back. Piedmont, no paper loss. This one I bought at this is a Ramley of let's see, George Howard, Dell Howard, Ramley. I bought this from one of my dealers, Tim. Tim has some awesome pre-war cards. Bought that from him, and another T205 gold border. This is a pretty nice one. I mean, it'll likely get a 1. Thomas Needham, just a little speck of paper loss on the back. So hopefully some of the really bad ones, hopefully they'll at least slab them authentic. I don't need number grades. I just want them in a tuxedo. So how many is here? 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So maybe it'll be an 11 card order because I think I have 2 more. I want to get that 1941 double play that I bought this weekend. I want to get that sent in, and the Gaudy 4-in-1 I also want to send in. Let's see. Victor, what is happening? Victor Bahina in the house. Michael, what's up? I'll see Michael. By the way, Michael's a vendor at the Madison Card Show. He'll be set up this Saturday. Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. I am sold out, 125 tables, and a couple dealers miss out. Little upset. I apologize if you wanted to get into the show, but it does fill quickly. So get in early and often. Early and not often. Just get in early. So Madison Card Show, sold out show, 125 tables, and a waiting list is in effect because there's always those late cancels on usually Friday at 5 p.m. Oh, something came up. Where are we at? George, what's happening? George says you missed all of the amusing chat. I was firing shots like the deer leader to the north. George is in Korea. George, what's up? The chat in attempt number 2 has been conversation if you want to still hop over. Joe says user error, most likely. Terry says, I just learned that there is a Casey's a couple miles from me in the next town over. Want to go try that taco pizza? Please do and report back. Oh, it's delicious. You know, and part of me wonders, I wonder if I would still think it was delicious if I'd never tried it and now I'm 40 years old. Because I think part of it for me is like it was so good growing up because like that was all we had in a small town in the cornfields of Illinois. We had Casey's Pizza and Busch Light. Like that was the fancy Friday dinner. Like, ooh, it's Friday night. We're going to have some taco pizza from the gas station. Dad's going up to get a 30-pack of Stones. It's a good night. Matt, good morning from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. What's up, Matt? Let's see. Rich says 2 likes, 22 people. What's wrong with you folks? They're just waiting for something they like, and they just haven't heard me say anything they like yet. We're up to 8. Thank you so much. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Boston Smokes in the house. Michael says, friendly Illinois brother. There you go. That's the better usage of fib. Good morning from Florida. Steve Ains Comedy. What's up? Stacks and Packs sounds like a hateful state. Here's how I look at Wisconsin. I live here. People are going to throw eggs at my house for saying this. I feel like it's the little brother syndrome. And I don't know if Zach's in here. I don't know if Dan's in here. Well, Dan Ryan's in here. So I feel like there's more hate by White Sox fans. And the 2 Dans and Zach, they are lovely White Sox fans. They don't portray, like when I think of, and fortunately now that I've met them, like I have a better feeling of White Sox fans. But I shared the Cork and Carey story. And it's like, I feel like some White Sox fans have this like little brother complex, where the middle child complex, where they have a hatred for the Cubs because the Cubs get all the glory in Chicago. And I feel like Wisconsin kind of has that. Like, and I say this out of love. I say this, when I moved to Wisconsin, and when I have coworkers, and it's just like their hatred for Chicago was almost like out of jealousy. Like everybody talks about Chicago. Nobody likes Milwaukee because everybody likes Chicago. And so I think that's it's like that little brother. Maybe I'm out of line, but that's just my perception. That's my perception. There's that little brother hatred because Chicago's the big city and Milwaukee's the little brother. And that's just my opinion. Max says that moniker doesn't fit you, though, fortunately. Although now that I Max may change his mind now that I just said that Wisconsin acts like Chicago's little brother. David says, good morning. Thanks. Received the card order yesterday. Awesome. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. Paige and Deanie Bean says, we're dumb rich. Cooter says, yesterday went to the new Casey's specifically to try the taco pizza. They don't offer it. That sucks. Come on, Oklahoma, get in with the times, get some taco pizza. My local Casey's, we don't have too many. Madison is like is overwhelmed by Quick Trip, which Quick Trip's a great place. There's a Quick Trip just down the street. I treated Herman to some Quick Trip breakfast when he was in town. But Casey's breakfast pizza, you can't beat that. So I'm Team Casey's. The nearest Casey's is in Verona, which is a few miles from where I'm at. But I think they offer taco pizza, but they're like always out, and it's like, or they're not staffed. So the last time I ordered Casey's taco pizza, I had to drive like 30 minutes. Where there's like at least a dozen like good like actual pizza places. But I drove 30 minutes to a gas station to get Casey's taco pizza. Max says fibs are easy to spot. I would agree with that. Fibs are easy, especially in Wisconsin. In Illinois, they don't stick out. In Wisconsin, they stick out. They are. Fibs in Wisconsin. They're wearing their Bears or Cubs gear. They're going into the gas station or liquor store looking for spotted cow. They're easy to spot. They're getting the cheese curds. Rich says, if you don't know what set the card it is, get them slabbed. I do know the set, just not off the top of my head. I'll just have to go. I'll Google it. Victor, the rookie card specialist. What is up? Good morning to you. Rich says, speaking of real jobs, it's time for me to begin my day. See you all on the rewind. Thanks for jumping on. Papino Man, what is up? Let's see. Where are we at in the chat? Let's see. John says, love these cards. Great variety. Thank you. Herman says, talk about jumping through hoops. Good morning. What is up? Baseball card curmudgeon is with us. What's happening? Jenny says, too bad the title isn't pre-war cards. People love that kind of stuff. I do plan on doing a video. How many videos do I tease? But I did come through with my SGC video, my very first grading submission. I finally came through. Better late than never. But that's one of the things that I haven't figured out how to. I don't want to just be standing here in front of my camera. Here's a card. I want it to look somewhat professional for like what I would think is professional, which is not professional. But I'm trying to think of a way, because I'd like to do like just show off some of my Cubs pre-war collection. Low Roller is in the house. It's been a few days since we've heard his advice on hockey and soccer. Let's see. But sorry to disappoint Low Roller. There were no hockey or soccer cards in this bulk lot that I bought. Can you believe that? I cannot believe that. There was no soccer, no hockey, only basketball, baseball, and football. Let's see. Jenny says, drop your link to your eBay so I can go buy hockey and soccer. Bo just won't listen and list it. That's true. I won't. Let's see. Herman says, Low Roller, how many soccer cards do you have in your COMC? Low Roller, there it is. Mike 255, COMC store. John says, good news is you're all Bears fans, which are a threat to no one. That is very true. We are only threats to ourselves. Papino says, my Dodgers got beat by the little brother Padres. There you go. David knocks off Goliath. Let's see. Where are we at? Papino, Stacks and Pack says the Bears are just getting started. Wisconsin is a cheesy state. Debris is everywhere. But Bucks play last night. Bucks did not play last night. Hey, by the way, I've been following back. I mean, it's like day 2 of the NBA season. much like I did last year. And by next month, I'll get tired of looking up box scores. And I'm not like watching games. I'm just looking at box scores, seeing who's going to score 40 points so I can list their cards on eBay. If only I did that with hockey and soccer. The Bucks did not play. They play tonight, so they're like one of the last teams to play. Milwaukee plays the Sixers. They play John's Philadelphia 76ers tonight. The Sixers have a 4-point. They are favored by 4 points. So just 2 games on the docket tonight. But any like Paolo Banchero, rookie for the Orlando Magic, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists last night. Let's see who else had Zion Williamson. We all know who he is. He had 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 steals. That's like his first regular season game in some time. KD had 32 points against Zion. Let's see. Ja Morant went off, 34 points, 9 assists. Let's see who else. Nikola the Joker Jokic had 27 points, 6 assists. Luka, 35 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Devin Booker had 28, 9, and 4. So NBA part 2 last night, or day 2. Let's see. Max says, plus most of the people I have experienced from Illinois are quite miserable. There's a lot. I'm from Illinois, so like I know a lot of people in Illinois. I think just in general, a lot of people are miserable. It's just not relegated to Illinois or Wisconsin or any other state. Pepino says, elusive taco pizza. Sounds like the elusive ice cream at McDonald's. The ice cream machine is always down. It is. The taco machine. They ran out of, like, how come they can't come up with taco pizza? It's freaking refried beans, lettuce, tomato, and Doritos. That's what makes a taco pizza. How do you not have those ingredients? Joe, are you going to the Cubs convention? Hell yeah. I'm so pumped. Cubs convention. I have my hotel booked. I don't know if you know Crawley, but Crawley and myself and another friend of ours, we bunk together. No, not together in that sense, but we share a room and split the price. So we got our tickets yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever they went on sale. So yes, tickets are bought and paid for. Cubs convention. It's been a couple years. When was the last one? 2020. I'm pumped. I'm super pumped. I haven't heard if there's going to be a Kerry Wood fundraiser. I've been like checking their website and their Facebook page every day. Nothing has come up, so I'm a little concerned. That's a really fun event. But yes, I am going to the Cubs convention. I will have the Cubs cardometer, and I will make sure it's updated. I've got a couple months to go. But yes, absolutely, I'll be there. So I get in, I drive. It's planes, trains, and automobiles without the plane. It's taxis, trains, and automobile. Taxis, trains, and automobiles to get to the Cubs convention. I will drive about an hour, 20 minutes down to Harvard, Illinois, and I'll jump on the Metra, and then I take the Metra down to Ogilvie, and then I'll hop into a taxi at Ogilvie and go over to the Sheraton. So taxis, trains, and automobiles to get to the Cubs convention. And so I get there about 11 a.m. on Friday and check my bags in at the front desk and wait in line for the basically what I do as soon as the taxi drops me off, I go put my bags away at the front desk, and then I go straight in line for the the garage sale downstairs where you get like the grab bags. You can buy the bobbleheads for what used to be cheap. Now their prices have gone up, but I go straight in line. My buddy will now it's the last couple of years it's been Crawley. So he'll get all the stuff, the hotel room information, all that stuff, check in for our passes, bring them to us, and then away we go. So yes, I'm excited. Cubs convention, finally, after a couple years off. Terry says, Where's Terry's comment? There is a Quad City style pizza close by. They have the best taco pizza around. Is that Happy Joe's? Quad City Transplant opened it a few years ago. Oh yeah, Terry's from the Quad City. So yeah, Quad City style pizza, which is very, if you're not familiar with Quad City style, it is a style. Like I think there's even a Wikipedia page for Quad City style pizza. It's similar to, if you're not familiar with Quad City style, it's similar to Detroit style. But Quad City is its own style. Red Light 34, good morning from my crane. Thank you, Red Light 34. There's Zach and Porter. Cooter says, still waiting on, I bought a new computer video. I'm still shopping. Let's see. Mountain Lake Cards and Games. What's happening? I just snagged a collection of 150 boxes for $300. Now to figure out what's in them. Oh, man, that's fun. That's the completely blind buy. This was the collection I'm going to talk about today was a semi-blind buy. But those blind buys are fun, kind of like the Goodwill pallets. Those are like basically completely blind. I kind of know what's on top, and then what's inside is a surprise. Jenny says, Bo, what do you do with all these card saver boxes? Any reuse ideas? Oh, yes, absolutely. So if you're talking about these, so these are perfect for like protecting cards that I ship in bubble mailers. So I'll take the card saver boxes and cut them up. So I have that, and then I'll cut here. And then, so card saver this tall. So then I'll put it up against the cardboard, and we'll just cut here. And I'll, like this has the wings. We'll cut the wings off. Throw that away. Oh, crap. They're all falling. And then I'll put that piece, compare it. So some of it does get recycled into the recycle bin. And boom. So I have my two pieces there. Card saver there. And card seller's best friend. The old blue tape. Blue tape it around. And stick it in a bubble mailer. You're like, oh, what's up with that bubble mailer? That's not a eBay bubble mailer. When I went home a couple weeks ago, my best friend Scott grew up across the street, and his mom works at the telephone company, and they had 2 boxes of those. And she's like, can you use these? And I'm like, heck yeah, I can use those. So I've been using those. So that's what I do with my card saver empty boxes after I, open them up. John says the process. Zion had a good game last night. Stacks and Pack says throw them in the trash. Yeah, we're miserable prick. Let's see. Terry is not miserable. Jenny says, Bo, do you know Moline, Illinois? In fact, I do. And Terry is from Illinois, Moline, Illinois. Yes. Moline, I grew up about 30 minutes from Moline. So I spent a lot of time growing up in Moline. That's where South Park Mall was and is. So that was the big city to me. Moline was the big city. So when we had to go to town to go to the mall, we went down to the Quad Cities. We went to Moline. Zach and Porter's playing catch up. Agreed. A movie on the bar trivia circuit would pique my interest more than the horror movie genre. Is Dan in here? I saw Dan tweeted me. He is not happy with how the movie Halloween ends. Which speaking of. Let's just get into the horror movie genre since I brought it up. Let's see. So I'm going to leave it off there. Terry's from Moline. Let's see. So Halloween Ends. We talked about Halloween Ends. I finished The Watcher last night. I had the last 2 episodes of The Watcher to watch. Loved it. It's on Netflix. Based on a true story, and they kind of intertwine. I haven't read because I've seen a lot of articles on, okay, this is what's real. There's Dan. This is what's real, and this is what was fabricated. The Watcher is based on a true story, which actually just happened. And the funny thing is they use the exact same address in town, like Westfield, Connecticut, where this all happened. Which I had not heard of this. And I'm into like true crime and all this stuff. I'd never heard of the Watcher story, which I believe happened within like the last 10 years. And then they also intertwined like the story of John List, who it really weird. Like he murdered his family. He was like a church going guy that murdered his family, ate a sandwich, and then created a new name and lived for 30 years before getting caught. I think somebody saw it like this is like in the late 80s. Somebody saw an episode on Unsolved Mysteries, and actually it wasn't 30 years. It was like maybe 15 years. Saw it on Unsolved Mysteries. They're like, hey, I think that's my neighbor. And it turned out it was. He murdered his family. So he's part in this kind of intertwined. I thought it was, and if you're into true crime, there's a fascinating story out of Ohio from like the late 70s, early 80s called the Circleville Letter Writer. Happened in Circleville, Ohio, where this letter, so it was, I think it was like the woman that was targeted, she was married with like a daughter. She was a bus driver at like the local school district. And so they started getting letters in their mailbox accusing the woman of having an affair with like the school principal, which she like denied up and down. Uh, uh, then something happened where the husband like went out chasing somebody and was killed in an accident. The woman ended up like having a relationship with the principal. Now it was like denied up and down that this had started prior to, and then like the daughter was like there were like nasty signs about like the underage daughter that she would see on the bus route, and it went on and on. There's like suspects, but it's never like fully been solved. So if you're into like that true crime stuff, Circleville Letter Writer, it's a fascinating story. Let's see. Victor wants to know. Jenny says, "Whoa, he is pumped if he has the hotel booked and it's not tomorrow." I know, right? Well, Cubs convention, you have to be on it. Victor says, "Which hotel?" We're staying at the convention at the Sheraton where the Cubs convention is being held. Let's see. Cooter says those aren't pillows. Joe says taking the family to my first one. Wife has been to multiple. I love the Cubs convention. If you're going for the first time, since your wife has been to several, she can kind of explain the process. What I tell people that are going to the Cubs convention for the first time is the first time, go in with low expectations, because one of the common gripes I hear from first timers, like just standing in line for autographs and all that, is, yeah, you're going to have to stand in line for a lot of things, just like with any event like that. But I think that the common number one gripe is people complain that they can't go up and shake Chris Bryant's hand or get Anthony Rizzo's autograph. And it's like, that's, expect to get Bobby Dernier's autograph and Ray Burris and who else? Tim Stoddard, those guys. To get an autograph of like a big name player, which there's not many left on the Cubs, you've got to get the the lottery tickets they give you in the bags. So you're not going to get up and close to like the superstars, but it's a lot of fun. So just go in with. I mean, I get just as excited having a beer with Bobby Dernier. Having a beer with Bobby Dernier. That should be a YouTube show. Having a beer with Bobby Dernier. I have more fun doing that than, getting an autograph in a line from Cole Hamels, Anthony Rizzo, whatever. So that's my take. Go in with low expectations and just like try to experience everything. And then, what you can, if you just go in kind of going in, experiencing everything, what to do next time or what not to do next time. So my very first year, I kind of experienced it all. And I learned that I would rather stand in line for autographs all day long on Saturday than go into like this huge ballroom and listen to stories. I just don't, and I know those rooms are filled and people enjoy that. It's just not for me. I'd rather go hang out and get Tim Stoddard's autograph than sit down and listen to players talk about how they became a Major League Baseball player. That's just not as interesting to me. But some people are like, why in the hell would I want to stand in line for 20 minutes to get Tim Stoddard's autograph? And I get it. But that's what I do. So after the first year, I just kind of stopped going. I hate bingo. I hate Cubs bingo. And like all of my friends love it. and they try to bribe me into going every year. But after I think I went like the first 2 or 3 years, and finally it's like, this sucks. Like I don't like Cubs bingo. And so the first year I skipped it, I hung out in the hotel lobby with a couple friends, and then we hung out. I had another set of friends that were like in the hotel bar, and then like a bunch of old Cubs came in, like Ray Burris, Tim Stoddard, uh, Larry Bittner, rest in peace. He just passed away. Larry Bittner was in there. There was Bobby Dernier. I sat with Bobby Dernier in a beer with Bobby Dernier, several beers with Bobby Dernier. I sat with Bobby Dernier and his wife for probably an hour and a half, just talking. He loves talking about baseball. His wife is into art. They had just been to Italy. My wife and I were about to go on our honeymoon to Italy, so she was giving suggestions, and it was like, hell no, I'm not playing bingo. I'd rather hang out with Bobby Dernier for 90 minutes than play stupid Cubs bingo and not win a damn thing. So that's my take. But uh, again, that great ballroom is filled with people, and people are sitting on the floor playing bingo. Not for me. You'll see me in the Sheraton Hotel bar having a beer with Bobby Dernier. Let's see. Dan finished Halloween Ends, and I don't think Dan liked it. I liked it for what it was. Dan, I'm going to ask, isolate the movie. Don't compare it to any other of the Halloween movies in the franchise. How did you like it on its own? Pretend it's not a Michael Myers movie. It's not a Halloween movie. Did you like the storyline? That's somebody asked me on Twitter, where would I rank it in the, I think there's 13 because I Googled how many Halloween movies, and I wanted kind of a refresher on how the storylines on all of them. And some it's like, oh yeah, that was really like some of the two Rob Zombie movies I want to go back and watch because it's been a while. I really liked those. Obviously, 1 and 2 I really liked. 3 was like average to me, and again, that's isolated. It's not a Michael Myers movie, but isolated on its own. It's a unique storyline. Not great, not bad, in the middle, kind of like Halloween Ends. I loved Halloween 4. Talked about that yesterday. Think that's a little more nostalgia for me. 5 is okay, but towards the bottom. Halloween H2O, and then the follow-up to that were awful. Like those are the two worst films in my opinion. And then this next set, I would say I would probably top 3 Halloween movies out of the 13 that have been made. Number 1 is the original. I mean, that's just, come on, the original. Number 2, I'm gonna have to watch the Rob Zombie ones again because it's been so long. But those were good. But this Halloween, whatever this I can't remember the latest guy who did this trilogy. The first one of this trilogy, and then last year's Halloween Kills, top 4 for me. I'd have to go back, top 5. We'll just say top 5. Halloween Ends, definitely not a top 5. It's somewhere in the middle, but it's not like bottom 5. So it's not top 5. It's not bottom 5. So it's like 6. It's like basically 6 or 7 or 8 in my rankings. So it's probably a little closer to back 5 than front 5. Steve Ains Comedy says, what Goodwills have card pallet sales? Only a few. If you do go to the Goodwill website, they have auctions. I know Arizona has Goodwill pallets. Minnesota has Goodwill pallets. Other than that, I'm not sure. Let's see. Stacks and Packs says crafting with Bo. Cooter says I flip card saver boxes inside out and ship small eBay items. That's a good idea. Let's see. Low Roller says you heard a guy went to prison for 30 months by selling fake sports cards. I did see that. I haven't read any of the articles, but I have seen that floating around out there. Paige and Deanie Bean says scissor use. Where's your helmet? Dan says the movie was okay, just didn't care for the boyfriend part. So yeah, that was like it was kind of a curveball. And I think it was so different, and that's probably why I think I liked it a little bit more. So I think it was a unique storyline. And I think okay. I think the movie was okay. I think that's like, okay, in a nutshell, what's the general overview of Halloween Ends? The movie was okay. I would use those same words. It was okay. The movie was okay. Zach and Porter says Bulls won 8 minutes behind. I did not see that. They were like down when I was like checking the box score as the game was going on. Terry says I saw a lot of people hating the end of The Watcher. I still want to see it. So my wife hated it also. She wasn't really watching, so she was doing some work on her computer. Um, and she's like, she just threw something on, and I knew she was like not paying any attention. She's like, "Here, you can watch that show on Netflix." And I'm like, "The Watcher?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Are you not paying attention?" She's like, "No." So then at the very end, I won't spoil the ending, but she's like, "That's the ending." And that's, I think, the general consensus from what I've seen. And I haven't gone back and read like reviews because I didn't want it spoiled. But yeah, it was kind of a womp womp. But watch it. There is some twists and turns at the end. There's some twists and turns, but then the very end. But again, remember, this is based on a true story. So keep that in mind also. Terry says the Liz T case was famous for how much the bust that was made of how he would look years later really looked like him. Let's see. Cooter says, thanks, Zach. You just had to mention horror movies. Ha ha. Victor says, Manny Trio, Ivan DeJesus, and Chico Walker. Yeah, and those guys haven't been. That's the one knock I have on the Cubs convention. It's the same retired players over and over. There'll be like a small group of like 5 or 6, like new, like, oh wow, this guy hasn't been to the Cubs convention in a while. But it's like, which, I mean, Bobby Dernier's there every year. Steve Trout is there every year, and those guys, personally, awesome. Steve Trout bought us pizza, and we had a pizza party with Steve Trout one year. Bobby Dernier, hanging out with him and his wife, talking about Italy and Florence, the art museums in Florence. Awesome. But I'd kind of like, for autographs, I'd like, like, okay, I have 17 Bobby Dernier autos. Where's Manny Trio? I'd like a Manny Trio autograph. So that's the one not, like, I love having those guys back, but for like autograph purposes, I'd like some other options. Let's see. You can only have so many Steve Trout autographs in your collection. Jenny says, hey, Bo, did you buy a collection this weekend? You've been digging through. I did. We're going to get to that. We're only 42 minutes in. Orioles used to have their fan fest at the stadium. The Cubs ever do that? No. And here's the thing about Cubs convention. I didn't think they would bring it back this year because they didn't announce it until a couple weeks ago. Usually they're like promoting it in August, in like early August. So they didn't start promoting it until like mid-September, late September. So I'm like, I just had discounted on Cubs convention happening. And if they did have a Cubs convention, I thought that it would be, so they built a Hotel Zachary right across the street from Wrigley Field. Beautiful hotel, and you'll pay the price. It's like $600, like during games, it's like $600 a night. F that. I thought they would do something like that where they would have like maybe a Wrigley Field tour, and they would have like, I don't know if Hotel Zachary even has like enough space to do something like the Cubs convention, but I thought it would be on a smaller scale. Like it wouldn't be what it is at the Sheraton. So no, they have not had any fan fests at the stadium. Back in the day, they used to do Cubs Caravan, where they would like bring 4 or 5, usually like players like, I don't know, usually like a couple rookies, a couple minor league players, one major league player, and like Pat Hughes, Harry Carey back in the day, like an announcer. And they would go to Peoria, Rockford, Springfield, Quincy, Quad Cities, and go to like the minor league stadium or somewhere, and they would do a Cubs Caravan where it was just like basically a Q&A panel and autographs, and that was it. But they stopped doing that several years ago. Let's see. Stacks and Pack says, bingo. People love free crap. Absolutely. Let's see. The grand prize at Cubs Bingo, there's several. So Wayne Messmer, who does the national anthem for many Cubs games, he hosts bingo. And usually the grand prize for each game is like a flag that has flown over the beautiful Wrigley Field or something like that. So it's like, and it can be like a Ron Santo flag, the Ernie Banks 14 flag, could be just random flags that actually flew over beautiful Wrigley Field. And then there's other stuff, autographed baseballs, but usually like the big prize is a flag. And they set, like back in the day, like a few years ago, like people would wait in the lobby and wait for people who had won flags at bingo and offer them like $500, $600, $800 for the flag. So most people were like, no, I'm not selling it. I would totally sell it because I'm not a flag guy. Like, where do you put a flag? Like, I could fly it in my front yard, but I'd rather have $800 than a flag flying outside my house. Like, oh yeah, that flag flew at Wrigley Field. Who gives a shit? It's a flag. And I'm not talking about the American flag before anybody gets offended. Flags it's like a Ron Santo number 10 flag. It's like, it's a white flag with the number 10 or a W flag. Those usually commanded the most. I don't know if they ever gave away the L flags. But it would be like the retired player, like 31 for Maddox and Jenkins, 10 for Santo, 14 for Banks, 23 for Sandberg, or the W flag. Usually those. Where are we at? Dan says it's better on its own. I think it's better than the last one, which was a goofy kill fest. So the last one I would rank top 3 or 4. Halloween Kills. I thought that was great because it was nostalgia. That's, I think, why I liked last year's movie the best, or better, because it was nostalgia. John says Halloween Backyard Breaks is coming. Let's see. Dan says we disagree on the last one. John says North Texas has Goodwill pallets. Basement Card Collector, good morning to you. Dan is downloading The Watcher. There you go. I loved it. The ending does kind of like, oh man, that sucks. Let's see. Low Roller says, are you going to downgrade your Netflix subscription to $6.99 for Netflix ad tier? I'm not sure. I haven't looked into that. John says, need Jose Cardinal. Jose Cardinal does come. Dave Kingman does not. Rick Russell has not been to Cubs convention in a long time. Now, Paul Russell was there a couple years ago. So I got a baseball. I don't think it's in here anymore, but I did have it in here. So when Paul Russell was at Cubs convention, I had him sign like on the side panel, Big League Brothers. And then he signed, and I said, can you leave enough room? And I want Rick to sign it, Big League Brothers from the 77 Topps card. And then fortunately, it's like, and Rick Russell at the time was really good through the mail, and I don't think he signs much through the mail anymore. But fortunately, Rick Russell was a free signer at the National in, what year was that? 2019. So I had the VIP, so I sold like all the other autographs. I kept Rick Russell, so he signed Rick Russell. I've said it before, we share an alma mater. We graduated from Western Illinois University, go Leathernecks. So I have a baseball that Paul Russell wrote, Big League Brothers, and then signed it along with brother Rick Russell. Victor's a huge Dave Kingman fan. I don't know if Dave Kingman has ever been to Cubs convention here. Well, at least in the last 10, 20 years, I don't think he has. Jose Cardinal does. Jose Cardinal comes back every couple years, every few years, I think. Clark Standish, what's happening? It's Mickey Mantle's birthday. The Mick. Where are we at? I scrolled up too far. Let's see. Basement Card Collector says home for fall break and thought I would jump on here and see what was the topic. The Watcher, Steve Trout, Halloween movie reviews. There you go. It's a little bit of everything. Thanks for hopping on. Bearded Bookworm says, just got on. What's the 30-second highlight of the $1,000 buy? I don't really have a 30-second highlight. I mean, do I ever have a 30-second highlight to any video I do? No, I don't think so. It was well worth $1,000. And I didn't know the comps. So I was pleasantly surprised when I came home, started digging through a couple cards that comp out at $100. Actually, a few cards. They haven't sold yet. They're in my eBay store. Link to my eBay store is in the description to the video. Low Roller says the bingo prize should be offering baseball card games. I don't know if tickets are a prize. Probably not, because the Cubs convention's in January, so I don't think tickets aren't on sale yet. Or I don't know. Maybe they are on sale. But I don't think they offer tickets. Terry says, I got my Goodwill pallet Jordan rookie back from SGC, ungraded. I didn't know they didn't grade star cards. Yes. I think only PSA, maybe Beckett, grades the star. So send it to PSA. Let's see. The star cards are a choice on their submission form, but I don't think they grade the Jordans. I think it's other star cards, but not the Jordans. PSA will. PSA will grade the Jordan. Let's see. Low Roller says Peacock is available. The new Halloween movie. That's where I watched Halloween Ends, was on Peacock. Is Cubs bingo how much? It's free with, well, you have to pay for the Cubs convention. You have to pay for the Cubs convention, and it's free with your convention ticket. So John says the Jordan Stars aren't rookies. That's debatable. I don't want to get into rookie card talk. Beckett just lower grading their price, and it's unlimited declared value. So this past Saturday, at the Midwest Premier Card Show, I had a gentleman come up to me, and he goes, are you Bo? And I said, yes. And he said, I was told to talk to you about a collection that I have that I want to sell. Trying to smoke out Victor Roman. There's sometimes too many emotions attached. I simply tweeted. So here I'm going to talk about rookie cards for a second. I simply tweeted the rookie cards that are in Topps archives, and it led to this not rookie cards. Blah, 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 blah. LOL. You're so easy, my friend, right? You got me. You hooked me. Hook, line, and sinker. So I don't care. Whatever rookie card you want, you can have that rookie card. If it's the star, if it's the Fleer, if it's the 85 Topps McGuire, if it's the 87 Topps McGuire, if it's the Bowman's Best Wander Franco, if it's the Topps Wander Franco, or the 77 others that were produced. Dan says, are you ever worried when someone asks you, are you Bo? Not anymore. maybe in my 20s. Maybe in my 20s. But not anymore. Let's see. Because usually when people say, are you Bo, it's I want to sell you something. Like baseball cards. If they want to sell me cable, then no, I'm not in. But if they want to sell me baseball cards, I think that's how I should approach solicitors. Like when the cable guy comes around, when the cable guy comes around, I don't want to buy cable, but do you have any baseball cards? Or like when Girl Scout cookie time comes around, I don't want baseball cards, or I don't want cookies, but do you have any baseball cards? I'll buy baseball cards, but I don't want to buy your product. Let's see. So, dropped some cards. Basement Card Collector lives in Indiana. I stopped into a few Goodwill stores and asked about cards. So far, no luck, but still look from time to time. It's hit or miss, and each Goodwill runs differently. Some will sell them in the store. Some will just send them on to a distribution center. Some put them on the Goodwill website on auction. Some will auction off lots of cards, like this binder full of 50s cards. So it just varies from store to store. Let's see. Low Roller says, are you the guy on YouTube in the public? I did not get that. Well, I had a couple people come up that watched this video. Victor says John is a trope. He's hooking me in. I cannot associate with someone that doesn't want Girl Scout cookies. Okay, I usually buy the Girl Scout cookies. Let's see. Basement Card Collector says, how are they priced? So the pallets that I buy are priced per pound. It's like 90 cents per pound. It's like I'm going to the grocery store buying ground beef for burgers. It's like 90 cents a pound, which is way cheaper than red meat. So yeah, that's how they're priced. And then some go to auction, like on the Goodwill website, it's auctions. So I think some can go as high as $1,000. I personally would not pay $1,000 for a Goodwill pallet because I've had, pallets that it's like, ew. Even at 500, it's like, probably not good. John says, Ken ain't wrong with that one. Paige and Deanie Bean says, who sells cable? So 90s. TDS, man. Screw them guys. TDS. They hooked me in like John Keating hooked me in on TDS for a month, and it was a nightmare. Screw TDS. People recognize you in the public. Call your name 1 Million Cubs Project instead of. I should change it. There you go. I should legally change my name to 1 Million Cubs. So the guy came up to me at the card show. Are you Bo? I've got these cards to sell you. And so some people ask, how do you come across these deals? And a lot of it is through networking. Like if you hang out and stay in your basement and not talk to people and not put yourself out there, you're not going to find a lot of deals. You have to, what do I always say? ABL. Always be looking and network and go to card shows and start buy. Like if you find something and you buy something from a dealer and then do it again. And they're like, hey, I've got a buddy that's got cards. Like this guy that I bought from on Saturday. After we made the deal, we loaded up my car and he's like, I got a bunch of friends that have similar stuff like this. Can I have your card? That's all. It's networking, doing these deals. And then it just kind of snowballs. And all of a sudden people are just, you don't even have to always be looking anymore. People come to you. So that's one way to get all of these deals. Just put yourself out there, be active. And I don't even put, I've thought about it, and now I have so much stuff to list that I don't want to put like ads out, but like put on Facebook Marketplace, put on Craigslist. I'm looking to buy. Now, you're going to be taking 9 out of 10 people that reach out to you are going to try to sell you a couple boxes of 89 tops for $1,000, but that 1 out of 10 might have $1,000 lot that will be very fruitful for you. Bearded Bookworm says Phoenix Goodwills don't have the collectible cases anymore, so all cards go straight to the distribution center. Let's see. John says, all right, Bo, that was a direct hit on my battleship, hanging out in the basement, not talking to people. Ken says, cable, that's so boomer. I know. There's that boomer mindset again. I'm requesting a truce. Bearded Bookworm says the last pallet went for $1,100. That's more than I would pay. I think because it had sealed mosaic football box and some wax packs of hockey. You know how I like hockey. Hey, basement is in my name. I know. I'm offending my basement brethren as I talk to you from my basement where I hang out 10 hours or more a day. So it's not personal. So I was going through, and how do I so the title, let's not bury the lead here. The title in this video is I paid $1,000 for this collection without knowing comps. And that's basically the truth. I didn't know comps on this. So I came up with a number. And I stuck to it. So I go through in one box, and I think I showed a picture on Twitter. It was all basketball. It was a 5-row box, which was about 40% of the entire collection I bought. So it's a lot of basketball, which I like usually try to steer clear of basketball like the plague because it's not my lane. It's not as bad as hockey and soccer, but I don't know basketball. I don't want to spend money. So that's kind of how I approach basketball. But as he's pulling up, it's like, okay, there's RPAs, there's low serial numbers. Ooh, there's like 4 or 5 Giannis cards. Those look nice. And then he got to baseball, and it's like, oh, hey, there's an Acuna, serial number to 250. There's some Aaron Judge cards. Okay. So I'm looking, I'm like, there's a lot. Like, there was only really one box that was like $1.50 stuff. And a lot of the stuff, it's like, this is $1.50 stuff, but it'll move fairly quickly. And I've already moved several cards from those $1.50 rows. So I have in mind, okay, there's 12,000 cards, but a lot of these are probably going to be $5, $10, $20. I didn't think there would be $50 to $100 cards in this lot. Again, I didn't know comps. And that was my naivete on the basketball card market, because a lot of these basketball cards were like national treasures, and there were some autos that sold. So it looks like these are a lot of baseball. Let's just go, since I'm talking about basketball. So those I have not. So these I have. So these are all in my eBay store. Yes. So these are all in my eBay store. So I can I'll show them off. And if you're interested in any of these, the link to my eBay store is in the description to this video. Offers are open on all of these. So I will I'll if your offer's too low in my opinion, I will count. But you can offer whatever you wish. I may accept, I may counter. So Grant Williams, Prism Auto. Here's a baseball. Jazz Chisholm. This is a rookie from Topps Finest, numbered out of 125. 175. Randy, what's happening? Randy doesn't comp any card when I buy cards at shows ever. Here's this one actually sold overnight for $10. Walker Buehler. So I should set him aside so I can get that shipped out. Joey Votto Green Chrome. I think this sold already for $4. Put him over here. Here's the Acuna, numbered out of 250. So these are all cards that were in the $1,000 bulk buy. This sold for $12.50. This is a national VIP rookie card of Shohei Ohtani. Sold for $12.50. This I didn't know. I posted some pictures of Ronald Acuna. Somebody goes, that's a $100 card. Yes, it does. I looked up the comps. It sells for between 100 and 120. It's listed for 100 or best offer in my eBay store. This is a Chrome Variation Mookie Betts. I think I have this for $20 or best offer in my store. Here's a Bryson Stott first Bowman Sky Blue out of $4.99. That's in my store. Some Christian Kirks, rookie auto from Optic. We've got let's see. I think this is an RPA. It's numbered out of 49, Christian Kirk. Auto patch. We've got a Dalvin Cook, numbered out of 25. So there's some football in here as well. This is a Bulls quad relic. Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, Denzel Valentine, and Bobby Portis. That's in the store. This one has sold for $20. So it's got Nicole. It's got the Joker, Towns, Love, and Howard. Put that over there. That's sold. These are really cool for Vikings fans. Stephon Diggs. It's like 5 patches, a football jersey, all kinds of stuff. So that's in my eBay store. I think $40 or $50. Same with Dalvin Cook. Roquan Smith auto, numbered out of 25. I think I have this in my store for $15. I did have somebody, I was actually countering back and forth with somebody, offered me like $5. I countered at 13. He countered at like 6. I countered back at 13 and kept trying to get, I think I just received an offer on this Dirk. This is numbered out of 41. This is in my eBay store. I think I'm sitting on an offer right now. Tyler Eulis, numbered out of 199, rookie patch. We've got a Klay Thompson Noir out of 79. There was a Dirk Nowitzki Noir out of 79 that sold for $40. So that was like, oh, damn, I'm pretty happy with some of these sales. So a lot of these, I thought like, oh, $5, $10 cards, and they're comping out at like $50. So we've got a Klay Thompson Revolution. This is numbered out of 75. So this is kind of an example of Isaiah Thomas, numbered out of 20. Let's see. This is a pretty cool. I love that patch on Ricky Rubio. That's numbered out of 25. This one has had a lot of interest. Numbered out of 10, Rookie Rubio. Beautiful patch. This one has sold. Glenn Rice auto dual patch, numbered out I think 49. 99. That has sold. Put him over there. Here's the Dirk. This sold for $40. Put him over there. We've got Hersey Hawkins auto. So there's a lot of autos, a lot of patches. Let's see. Here's Darius Miles Prism auto. Chris says this is like the anti-Jordan buy. Yeah, it is. It is. It's we've got Paul Millsap auto. We've got a Danny Manning auto. Again, I paid $1,000. There's about 12,000 cards, a lot of rookie or a lot of patches, a lot of autos. Damian Lillard patch out of 99. Nerlens Noel patch out of 99. Got a John Wall Dominion out of 25. Let's see, a few more cards. Here's another cool one. This is Darren Williams patch out of 25. So this was 8 cents a card is what I paid for this lot. Here's a John Wall patch out of 75. Marcus Smart Spectra out of 49. This has sold. Marcus Smart numbered out of 10. I think that sold for $20. Put him over there in the sold pile. Paul Westfall auto, that sold for like $8. Let's see. This is a Russ Westbrook printing plate. This is still listed in my store, I think $40 or $50 or best offer. Rudy Tomjanovich, this has sold, I think, around $8. David Thompson, I think this sold. I think the same person bought the Glenn Rice, bought this David Thompson auto. Rick Smith's auto. And those are from something else. So that's a small example of and there's a lot of stuff. Let's see. 608 says you listed an F1 card. I did? I listed an F1 card. I have like an F2 Tops Now card that I got from like points on tops.com. That's probably the only F1 card I have. It's I probably have it right here. Oscar Piastri. And I think I bought like 5 or 10 of these. So I was speculating. That's probably the only F1 card I have. Shark City, what's happening? When I buy at shows, it's usually hundreds of cards at a time from dealers and play law of averages. Absolutely. Paige and Deanie Bean says this can definitely get you a new computer. So I think I've sold. So I paid $1,000 for it. I think my sales are up around $250, and I am sitting on a few offers. So, and that's just in a couple days, and that's just out of. I've probably listed, let's say 100 cards out of 12,000, and I'm almost 30% to break even. So, and I haven't sold any of the like $100 listings. So, and I think those, if they probably won't sell for 100, but I think I could probably get at least 75. So we'll see. This is kind of I've noticed lately there's a lull during the like Tuesday through Thursday is kind of a lull in eBay sales. And then it starts by Thursday night, it starts picking. So, hey, it's Thursday. By Thursday night, the sales start picking up. And then through the weekend, a little higher sales. Although, let's see. Although Sunday, I had a really bad Sunday this past weekend. So how did I come up with my number of $1,000? That seemed like a good number. I did ask, and I never throw out the first offer as a buyer. That's seller. He knows what he has. I look through and I kind of have an idea. He has a much better idea of what he has than I do. So I always defer to the seller on price. And so I asked, what's your price range? And he threw out like, I'd like to get a few thousand. I think you can make some money on that. It would be, can I get a few thousand on this? Oh yeah, for sure. But it's going to take a lot of time. And so that's where it's like, okay, we're probably not too far off. He's probably going the high route. I'm just going to be honest, and I'm not going to play this negotiating game. I'm going to throw out a number, leave it at that, take it or leave it number, $1,000. That's 8 cents a card because there's, in the basketball box, there's some 90s skybox. I mean, it's stars. It's like Pippen and Malone and stuff, but they're $1.50 cards. There's some stuff that it's like, I probably, if it's serial numbered out of like 2,000, it's probably just going to go into a quarter box. There's a lot of stuff that I'm just not going to mess with because it's shiny and I can't fast scan it, or it's serial numbered and it's not going to be picked up by Car Dealer Pro. So it's like I want to be at a low price point. And I honestly didn't know the comps. I might have been willing to negotiate a little bit had I known, this Acuna comps at 100, this Giannis comps at 100. but I think I'm comfortable uh with the $1,000 that I offered, and I was firm on that. And I think he was okay with, I mean, obviously he was okay with it because he agreed to it. So I said, my price is 1,000. There's a lot of work here. I don't do basketball. I'm not knowledgeable with basketball. Um, and I told him, you can probably, you might be able to make more money than 1,000 if you go back in the show and talk to some dealers. They might offer you more, but 1,000 is my price, and that's firm. Um, and he goes, how about 1,200? I said, no, I'm firm at 1,000. And he's like, okay, let's do it. So I think he was happy with it. He probably wanted to get a little more for it, which switching positions, I probably would have thought the same. But I'm good. I'm good with paying 1,000 for it. And I'm already getting some of that investment back. Getting close to break even. And I think I can probably get back to break even by the end of next week. Here the next couple days is going to be tough for me. Madison Card Show this Saturday, 9 to 3 at the Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive. Sold out 125 tables. So come on out and see us this Saturday in Madison, Wisconsin. So I'll be a little busy, so I won't be able to list as much here over the next couple days. But I'm thinking within 2 weeks, I'll get pretty close to break even within 2 weeks. And I think I'll get back to break even and profit after 3 to 3.5 weeks. That's the goal. And I went into the Midwest Premiere last weekend expecting to be a buyer. I didn't think I would bring home a bulk buy to the, like, I went in thinking, and sometimes this is, you just go in with low expectations. I went in thinking, hey, if I can get a few bulk boxes, like dime boxes, quarter boxes in bulk, hey, that'll be good. I didn't think I'd, get something like this. But I made some, I knew going in I was going to be a buyer, not to this extent, but it worked out. And I think it's going to pay off well. Now, going into Madison this weekend, I guess I am going to be a buyer. I am getting 2 jumbo cases of Topps Pro Debut from my buddy Tom at Real Breaks. So getting those. So I'm probably just going to cap it at that. That's, when you're selling lower end cards, although these are a little higher end for me. That's a lot of capital to be dishing out, doling out the dollars. So so I guess I am a buyer buying cases of Pro Debut, but I think that's going to be it. I'll shop dollar boxes, but am I going to buy another collection? Well, I didn't expect to buy something like this last weekend, so I guess never say never. But that's not the plan, at least. Let's see. Zach says to Basement Card is in the house. If you haven't checked out his channel, you should. Shark City says hit some monsters at the last show I went to. Tons of 93, 94 refractors from Finest and numbered 100 or less refractors from the mid 2000s of Hall of Famers. Nice. John says you can make a ton on game used Acuna glove. Never seen him use one. John, after a Phillies win, after a Phillies loss. John, after a Phillies win, greater than after a Phillies loss. John says mediocre always. That's my goal. So that was the collection I bought. I'm pretty happy with it. Now I've got to ship a lot of these. I've got some offers to tend to. Again, Madison Card Show is this Saturday, 9 to 3, 125 tables. We're sold out. Free admission. After the show, you can go watch some Big Ten football. It's homecoming at UW. Wisconsin plays Purdue. I will not be live for a Hobby Evolution Saturday morning, but I will do a card show live, the Madison Card Show live, sometime between 10 and 11, I would assume. That's typically when I've done that. So do expect a card show live Saturday mid-morning around 10 o'clock, somewhere in there. So have a great Thursday. We'll do it all again. It's a free-for-all Friday tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Central. I'll try not to be 26 minutes late tomorrow. Hopefully my computer's working. Maybe I'll have to be a little more proactive in shopping for that new computer. So, hey, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.